Good afternoon. My name is Lexi Gleason, and I am the Program Associate for the Quality of Life Grants Program at the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. As you may know, the Quality of Life Grants team provides informational webinars at the beginning of each grant cycle. In addition to these webinars, we are now also very excited to offer a series of shorter videos that dive deeper into some of the aspects of our program and application that our grantees have the most questions about. We hope that you'll find these videos helpful when you're applying, but if you have any further questions about our process or what I'm going to talk about in this video, please feel free to email qol@christopherreeve.org for further information. This video will focus on eligibility for the QOL program, so let's get right into that. What's important to note is that the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation is paralysis focused, and as such, our grant funding must be targeted to projects that will serve individuals living with paralysis, their families, and caregivers. We also use a functional definition of paralysis, which is difficulty and or the inability to use one's arms or legs due to injury or neurological conditions, including but not limited to spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, stroke, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, ALS, and post-polio syndrome. We do consider supporting programs that include people that have other types of co-occurring disabilities, as well as inclusive community projects, but the proposed projects must serve a majority of people with paralysis. Applications are accepted from a 501c3 nonprofit organizations. That also includes municipal and state governments, school districts, colleges or universities, recognized tribal entities, and other institutions such as community or veterans hospitals. The applying organization must have its own 501c3 tax status or be part of or a chapter of a national organization that is a 501c3. Fiscal sponsors are not allowed to apply. Grants must go to the applying nonprofit. We cannot allow pass-through grants or anything like that, and no exceptions can be made. One thing we cannot accept is multiple submissions from an organization at a time. Multiple submissions from one organization will not be considered, and this includes multiple submissions within the same tier as well as different tiers. We run 2 grant programs each cycle, direct effect and expanded effect in the spring, and direct effect and priority impact in the fall. If you are applying for a grant in the spring, you'll have to choose between applying for either a direct effect or expanded impact, and the same goes for our fall cycle. If you happen to accidentally start 2 applications, that's no problem. Just make sure you only submit one of them. If you currently have an open grant with the foundation, you will be ineligible from applying. Now, we do encourage prior grantees to apply. However, we ask that they try to apply for a new or innovative project. That's not to say we wouldn't fund something that we funded before. Sometimes we receive proposals for continuations of previously funded programs, such as nursing home transition projects, and we will consider those applications based upon the merit and the success of the past grant project. Here is a new eligibility requirement that I want to make sure everyone understands. Previously, the waiting period for reapplying for funding after receiving a grant was 1 year. With this new cooperative agreement, we are striving to create a level playing field and opportunities for organizations applying for funding. So starting with this grant cycle, we are instituting a new waiting period of 5 years within the same category. Any other category or tier will still be a 1-year waiting period from your previous grant closure. For example, there are 5 tiers of funding available twice a year. If your organization receives a tier 1 adaptive sports grant, you must wait 1 year after the grant is closed and completed and closed before you can apply for any other quality of life grant. Your organization will be ineligible from applying for a second Tier 1 adaptive sports grant until after June 30th, 2026, but you may apply for other categories in the same tier or for other tiers of funding. If you have any questions regarding our new Building Community Capacity Initiative, please email qol@christopherreeve.org with the subject line eligibility question. So those are all of our eligibility requirements. If you have any specific questions about whether your organization would be eligible or not, please feel free to reach out and email us. Our email is on the screen, qol@christopherreeve.org. You can also find all of this information, including our program and application guidelines, on our website, www.christopherreeve.org. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video has been helpful to you, and we look forward to reading your applications in the future.